Saints. It is lovely to be with you, and now you know the drill. Here is the video for week 5's Lenten prayer practices. As usual, we have day 1 and day 2, and on day 3, you pick one and you repeat it. And so now we are very much on the road to Calvary. And so this week's prayer assignments feature that pretty prominently. The first one is John 13, 1-17, and so I will read that. And those of you who are using this video for your practice can then pause it and take your time for prayer, after which I'll read our next passage and we'll keep it moving. And so there we are on the road to Calvary, and I'll start off with John 13, 1-17, which will be very, very familiar to you. So let me begin. Now before the festival of the Passover, Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart from this world to go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The devil had already put into the heart of Judas, son of Simon Iscariot, to betray him. And during supper, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God and was going to God, got up from the table, took off his outer robe, and tied a towel around himself. Then he poured water into a basin, and began to wash the disciples' feet, and to wipe them with the towel that was tied around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus answered, "You do not know what I am doing, but later you will understand." Peter said to him, "You will never wash my feet." Jesus answered, "Unless I wash you, you have no share with me." Simon Peter said to him, "Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head." Jesus said to him, "One who is bathed does not need to wash except for the feet, but is entirely clean. And you are clean, though not all of you." For he knew who was to betray him. For this reason he said, "Not all of you are clean." After that, he washed their feet and had put on their robes and returned to the table. He said to them, "Do you know what I have done to you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right, for that is what I am. So if I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have set you an example, that you also should do as I have done to you. Very truly I tell you, servants are not greater than their master, nor are messengers greater than the ones who sent them. If you know these things, you are blessed if you do them." You can now take some time for silent prayer. Okay, I hope your prayer time was good. And now I want to move on to our next passage, which is in my favorite gospel, the Gospel of Luke. And it is Luke chapter 22, verse 39 to 46. Luke chapter 22, verses 39 to 46. So likewise, I will read it, and then you can pause the video and take your prayer time if you're using this video for that reason. And this is Jesus praying on the Mount of Olives. He came out and went, as was his custom, to the Mount of Olives. The disciples followed him. When he reached that place, he said to them, "Pray that you may not come to the time of trial." Then he withdrew from them and about a stone's throw knelt down and prayed, "Father, if you're willing, remove this cup from me. Yet, not my will, but yours be done." Then an angel from heaven appeared to him and gave him strength. In his anguish, he prayed even more earnestly, and his sweat became like drops of blood falling down on the ground. When he got up from prayer, he came to the disciples and found them sleeping because of grief. And he said to them, "Why are you sleeping? Get up and pray that you may not come into the time of trial." You may now take some prayer time. Wonderful. I hope that you enjoyed this week's prayers. I hope that they're getting you primed and ready for Holy Week, which will be here very soon, which is for sure upon us. And I just pray that you are well and you're enjoying this glorious day. Blessings upon you all.